Danam Virasya Bhushanam. Sacrifice is the ornament of the brave. That is the motto of the 125 Helicopter Squadron.
With the call sign Gladiators, these guys are named after the gladiators, the ancient Roman fighters of old, who used a gladius or a short sword. But the weapon that these people employ is a lot more deadly and a lot more efficient. Those babies coming up right there.
This is an exceptional gunship. This attack helicopter has been put into the Indian Army to do what it does best, bust enemy armor. And that is their primary role. They're going overhead right now. They're incredible. Woohoo! That sight would make the hearts of the enemy quiver, because when these babies move in, everything else moves out. We're fortunate to be here on one of their training days where they're going to be going to the practice range and firing their armament. So that's something that you can look forward to. They are going to discharge these payloads and blow up a whole lot of stuff, which I'm looking forward to seeing. But what we really want to do is to find out what is a typical day in their lives, how they stay at that cutting edge of physical and mental fitness and ability, what it takes to become a pilot in one of these amazing squadrons, what it takes to fly one of these deadly weapons platforms, and last but not least, what it is that they eat.
Where were the air officer commanding of this frontline Air Force base? Thank you very much for seeing us, sir.
Nice to be here.
So, first thing I noticed when I walked in over here, half the pilots are wearing an Air Force outfit and a lot of them are wearing Army insignia.
This is a unique example of cooperation between the Army and the Air Force, wherein the attack helicopters are closely affiliated with the Army. And as a sign of their close affiliation, they wear the Army insignia. It is relevant to the formation with whom they are affiliated. Basically, the attack helicopter is just that. It's an anti-armor role. So they are always going to be employed in support of the Army.
So during battle operations, what sort of punch does an attack helicopter deliver to the enemy?
Attack helicopter is a fantastically versatile platform. First used by the Americans in the Vietnam War, and then since then people have been using it in all conflicts. You see Afghanistan, both by the Soviets, now by the Americans. In Iraq, absolute terror for a tank commander, superb anti-armor weapon. That's their primary role. You find that you disrupt enemy armor operations tremendously, and give us great advantage to your own forces to be able to tackle the enemy. So this is the key in which the attack helicopter is going to be used, and it's been doing its job very well over the last couple of decades.
Is there something common across the platform for every pilot? An Air Force pilot should have some characteristics. If so, what are those?
Well, I always say that the most important attribute of a pilot is the attitude. Okay, right. And the aggression that one feels when one is driving one's machine to the edge of the envelope, and it has to be a professional, controlled aggression that gets the best out of the machine, and it also ensures that you deliver the goods at the right time. I can tell you that as far as the spirit amongst the pilots and the crew are concerned, eventually you fight with people. You know, machines are there to pack a punch, but the people who are behind the machines, they're the one that matter the most. You know, you do many things that are probably not visible to everybody, and the sense of quiet satisfaction that you have at the end of the day when the job is done, you will not find it in any other profession. So, you know, people talk about patriotism and service to the country and all. You can definitely join the armed forces for the country, but most of all, you can join it for yourself.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for taking the time. For having us on the base. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
It's been a pleasure speaking to you.
This is how it works. Lean, mean fighting machine, 1. Lean, mean fighting gladiators to fly that machine and make it really effective, 3. How are you, sirs?
All well, all fine.
So usually in a helicopter, I've seen you have 2 pilots, but 3 in this one. Why? What happens? How does it work?
Normally in a complex helicopters, there are 3 crew. At times there are 4 crew also.
Wow.
But as far as this machine is concerned, we have a complement of 3 crew. And the front seat is occupied by a pilot who we name as weapon system operator. That is basically because he is operating the maximum systems as far as weapon systems are concerned.
Okay.
And the rear cockpit is from where the pilot flies, maneuvers to the target. While he has retained certain capabilities of armament as well, but the main weapon systems are operated from the front seat.
And that can be transferred between.
Yes.
The front guy can also
Absolutely,
fly.
yeah, absolutely. And the flight engineer sits just behind the captain's seat, that is the pilot seat, and his role becomes very, very critical when I am into an enemy area. While as a pilot, I am always concentrating to look at an objective as a target or any threat which is developing on me. Similarly, my weapons operator is busy tracking. Now, this crew member plays a very important role at that point of time. He is monitoring all my vital parameters of the helicopters.
Right.
If my aircraft is hit, there are many occasions when helicopters have been hit. The pilot, while concentrating on flying and engaging the target, may miss out monitoring on those targets. So the flight engineer calls out in case the situation become dangerous or critical, so that the pilots can take an evasive maneuver. So that is where his role comes. He is a very important member of my crew team.
Yeah, I've just noticed that you have the 2 wings.
Yeah, he is a flight engineer.
Right.
He's a flight engineer. That's how he's wearing this.
So E for engineer and the 1 wing,
Flight.
that means
Absolutely.
in flight.
Yes, yes.
How's the job, sir? Is it exciting being on this helicopter?
It is very exciting. We have done we got some bullet hit also in this helicopter earlier. So it's very thrilling and exciting.
Flight Lieutenant Anand, you're the weapon systems operator for this?
Yeah, for today's mission, I am the weapon system operator.
Now at this mission, he will be refining his skills on delivering weapons that he's just covered 128 RPs onto the target. So that is the primary mission for now.
Looking forward to letting off those guns?
Yeah, it will be a very thrilling experience to fire 128 RPs together.
It must be a little dampening to have the CO sitting behind you.
Once we are in the cockpit, it's the crew, all crew are the same. We do our duties and responsibility, carry out it.
Excellent.
I have a quick test for the new weapon system officer. If you were in charge of the weapons of this and you spotted Rocky running on the field, what would you use from your range of armaments to?
We'll use the nose gun.
Let's talk about the nose gun. It's quite a deadly looking thing.
Yeah.
It has 4 barrels.
Yeah, rotating barrels.
Also, it goes round and round. It's the Gatling gun, is that what it's called?
Exactly.
All the weapons have got various ranges. Now depending on what is the threat perceived on the ground, the tactical maneuvering will be done as per that.
Now I have a question. Why is it that in these helicopters you have everybody in line, in a straight line, instead of the usual configuration where there are 2 people sitting side by side?
That is basically to retain the stealth,
Okay.
to prevent early detection and maintain the stealth of the system. So all attack helicopters of the world, you will find that they will be generally having very less frontal signature.
What is it required to fly only this helicopter?
A normal ab initio pilot who comes to train in the Indian Air Force, he generally takes 10 to 12 sorties by the time he can be launched for solo flying. But when a helicopter pilot comes to train, he is checked for his solo capability at 28th sortie.
Wow.
Nearly the 3 times of training is required before he can actually be cleared for flying solo. And at that entire all 28 sorties, he's basically learning how to hover, maintain at one position. To learn how to hover the helicopter is maybe one of the most difficult tasks of learning flying. A pilot who
Hover
comes...
is when you're just holding position.
Yes,
You're
holding
not-
at one place,
Right.
maintaining height, maintaining direction. Wow. To learn that, all your systems are operating at the maximum limit and the skills required is very, very high.
So this evening, the display of firing that we're going to be seeing is just part of routine training.
Correct.
And you're not going to be using the really big weapon systems.
No, we'll be using 57mm rockets.
Okay.
The rockets will be very much real,
Right.
and so will be the results.
So there's going to be lots of like actual ammunition going off, boom,
yeah.
sound.
We are simulating an enemy convoy which has been spotted,
Right.
and we have been directed to go and engage them.
Right.
So obviously when we roll into attack and when he starts tracking these targets, in actual situation we will be under heavy fire. Right. So our aim would be to avoid getting shot, yet deliver our punch with accuracy without degrading our machine.
Rocket pod. Rocket goes into pod, fires on enemy. Hoo-yah! Happy Diwali. That's the kind of rocket you should fire. It's a great spread, so my day is already half made. It's a bright sunny morning and we're with the CEO of the Gladiators, sir. Thank you so much for having us over. And it's a great spread, so my day is already half made. It's a hard job, and to be able to do it well, you need to eat well. Here are the highlights on this table for me. There's the chicken over here, crumb fried, brilliant. There's non-veg sandwiches over there, amazing. And there's squadron leader Sandhu, who's a vegetarian. Unbelievable. I want to ask you, your insignia is very different from theirs.
I'm an army officer.
Okay.
I'm posted on deputation to the Gladiators. We have three army officers posted here.
Okay, a very non-controversial question. Where's the food better, the army or the air force?
Home is where the heart lies.
Okay.
So army, I think, is slightly better.